Good morning, Monday morning. Appreciate you checking in with me. If you haven't done so already, please like the video before we get started. Subscribe if you haven't, share it, please. Um, and if you've been here before, welcome back. Appreciate you doing it. As you can see, my name is Louis Conway Jr. This is a weather channel and trying to bring you some information that hopefully will help get your week started right. Last time we talked about how I got introduced to the law of attraction was through The Secret, and one of the folks it introduced me to, or it brought me into proximity to, was Napoleon Hill. You know what's funny is when I was growing up, my dad had a book called Think and Grow Rich, right? And he used to always read the book. He never talked to me about the book though. He never told me I was in the book. But one of the things that he always said was do something about the thing over which you have control. That was one of his mantras, right? So the law of attraction um, really began to intrigue me. And for those of you that don't know what the law of attraction is, it's one of, some say it's the biggest mysteries, but as you know, the universe operates on certain laws like gravity. Gravity is a law, right? And no matter what you do, I don't care how many times you try it, if you stand on a roof and walk off, you're going to go down. That's the law of gravity. Now, one of the things that supersedes the law of gravity is the law of lift. That's what allows airplanes to fly, right? Is the law of lift. Well, with the law of attraction, what happens is, you know, whatever you are thinking, you're going to attract that same quality of thought. Whatever you are doing, you're going to attract that same quality of doing. Whatever people you attract, you're going to continue to attract that same quality of people, and it's all going to be rooted in your thinking. And when I first came into this knowledge, I was like, "Come on, that don't even sound that." My daddy was a preacher. He was an AME preacher. I grew up in the church. I was even ordained a minister. Before I went to prison. When I was in prison, I accepted Islam and I became an imam. So I'm very familiar with the ideas of faith, and I'm very familiar with the ideas of belief. And giving me that kind of control over my life had never really been taught to me, that just my thinking alone could change. um well, one of the stories that I first learned about when I the law of attraction was how you train an elephant. And as a kid, if you're from Austin, you've been to the Frank Irwin Center when the circus will come to town and you get the little things that you swing around. Um, I used to always be amazed by the elephants, right? And how can those huge elephants be controlled by people? And then I don't know if it was when we were leaving the venue or coming to the venue, I saw how those elephants were being held, and they were being held by a chain. It was like, I won't say a bike chain, but it wasn't anything that I thought could hold an elephant. And so for many, many years, that stayed with me. Is like, how could that small chain hold that huge elephant? Well, when I came into the law of attraction, I learned the story about how they train elephants. And how they train elephants is that as a baby, they take a very heavy chain and they put that chain around the baby elephant's leg. Um, and it can't break the chain. It's gonna try, it's gonna cry, it's gonna pull, it's gonna it's gonna do everything it can to break that chain, but it's a baby. It can't break that chain. Now, one of the defining aspects of elephants is, as we always say, the memory of an elephant, right? They have an excellent memory. So this baby begins to memorize that whenever he feels this chain, he can't move, right? And at some point, the baby stops trying. That's when they say the baby elephant is trained, is when it stops trying because it becomes convinced based upon its past experiences that it can't break that chain. So you can take a 2,000-pound elephant and you can put a light chain on it. And just as soon as that elephant feels the touch of that chain, it triggers the memory of the baby that couldn't break that chain. Well, I thought about that and I was like, wow, that's what they have done, or that's what I've done to myself. When I came home from prison, the very first time I got turned down for a job at McDonald's, flip burgers, um, and then the 10th time I got turned down for a job, I became convinced. Uh, uh, I was trained. I was trained in the thinking that my felony conviction precluded me from having a normal life and being um, a self-sustaining individual, right? So when I came into the law of attraction, I began to understand the power of the thinking, the power of the mind, and I have a very good memory, and that can be a gift and a curse because it allows you to remember when that chain was first put on, so it's hard for you to forget. Um, and so, what I want to leave you with as you go into your week is don't let that touch of the chain train you. Don't let it break you. Don't let the pain that you're going through in this moment determine your ability to get through something else. Don't let the failure that you just experienced stop you from trying again. Um, I, I can't begin to tell you how many losses I had even after I learned the law of attraction, right? But I learned that failure was not, we're taught to avoid failure as opposed to embracing failure as part of the process. And once I was able to redefine success as a progressive realization of a worthy idea and not some place to end up as, then I realized that it's a process. And as long as I'm in pursuit of this worthy idea, I'm going to fall. I am going to fail. So I need to fail early and I need to fail fast. And I need to get immune to failure and begin to eat failure as food to succeed. Right. And that didn't happen in the beginning. I was still stuck in this place of, you know, and again, your teacher will appear when you're ready. When I first came into the law of attraction, the way it was presented in the secret, it was like, the universe is just open, this gift book. If you're old enough to remember those Best Buy gift books or the Sears Christmas books, where you would read through it in circles you wanted. That's kind of how the law of attraction was explained. And I tried that and it wasn't working. Matter of fact, I lost the very thing that I was trying to keep, right? But once I began to get a different understanding and a different teaching, right, I was able to apply the law of attraction in a different way. It's kind of like gravity is always here, even if you didn't know it existed. It's keeping you on the ground, right? So once you know it exists, now you're able to maneuver in a way that allows you to use gravity to your advantage. Well, same thing with the law of attraction. It's always in play. Even if you didn't know it was in play, it's in play. But once you know it's in play, you can begin to use it to your benefit. Now, as I told you, when I started, you know, I lost a marriage to someone I thought I was going to spend the rest of my life with. Um, my mother died. We lost the home they were staying in. I lost the relationship with my family. Um, I was on the losing end of it, right? And this is after me coming into the law of attraction. And so, being positive is part of it. And we'll talk about positivity and negativity on the next video, because that's when things really began to form up and shape itself in a way that I could use it, right? So anyway, Monday morning, appreciate you guys checking in again. Have a wonderful rest of your week. And if I can leave you with anything, it is thoughts become things. So be careful what you think about. All right. So if you haven't done it already, make sure you like the video, share it with somebody if the content is appealing to you. Subscribe to the channel. Got lots of videos. If this isn't kind of your thing, if you want some smarter policy work, I do a reentry series as well. You can check that stuff out. But this stuff is to give you some inspiration for the rest of your week. All right. Have a good one. I'll stay out of trouble, and I will see you next Monday.